Hi, my wonderful chefs. Welcome to Recipe Specialty, where we show you how to make a variety of recipes from eggs to eggceptional. In this video, I'm going to prepare chicken persillade, which translates in French roughly to parsley and garlic. Like many of my go-to favorite meals, I learned this recipe from the man, the myth, the legend, a Monsieur Jacques Pepin. What you're going to need for this is a rotisserie chicken, or roast your own chicken. Most of the time, we don't have the luxury of time when it comes to prepping a weeknight meal, so I typically use a store-bought rotisserie for this dish. When picking one out, try to get one that hasn't been sitting under the heating element all day. We're also going to need olive oil, minced garlic, and some herbs, but primarily parsley. I personally feel fresh herbs work best with this, but feel free to use dried. Honestly, feel free to use any herbs you like. If you don't like rosemary, leave it out. My wife doesn't, so I often prepare this with herbe de Provence or fresh tarragon instead. With that said, let's get cooking. Look at this beauty. I don't know about you folks, but I'm not ashamed to admit I've crushed an entire one of these by myself a time or two. And well, honestly, the scale tells that tale too, but I digress. This recipe basically takes a delicious chicken that's been cooked, reheat it for dinner time, and heighten it with a bit of fresh herbs. Open this baby up and get to work. Don't pour out the juices at the bottom of the container either. You're going to put them to work for you later on. Snip the trussing or kitchen twine. I use a heavy chef's knife because the weight of it will do most of the work. I cut right down through the middle of the two breasts. Then I separate the legs by cutting through the separation between the leg and the thigh. This has been roasted long enough where a decent knife will easily cut through it. Then I remove the wings. This bird was so tender I was able to simply pull the wing apart. Here's where things get a bit dicey. At this point, the bird is coming apart really easily, so you want to try to keep the good pieces away from the rest of the carcass. Cut away the breasts and then try to salvage the thighs without letting them fall apart too much. It's easy to prepare this dish with wholly intact pieces, but don't get discouraged if you wind up with a mess, especially as the tender meat falls off the bone. Set that carcass aside as it makes for a great chicken stock, which I will have a video posted at the end. I'll link to it once I have that finished. If you're not inclined to deal with prepping your own stock, that's fine too. Just toss it out. You're not going to need it again. Add olive oil to a frying pan. Add in your minced garlic. Then chop up the herbs and add that to the pan as well. You can heat up the pan first before adding everything, but I prefer to start with a cold pan and let it heat up with the herbs and the garlic and the oil. I find that it doesn't burn anything and I'm not scrambling to keep up with the heating process. And remember, this chicken has already been cooked, so we're doing this just to add a little touch of extra flavor. Add a little touch more olive oil to the mix and stir everything around. And then pour in those savory juices from the bottom of the chicken container. I add a little bit of water. I find that helps soften up the fresh herbs. Not much. I'm using about 1/8 of a cup. It depends on how much herbs you've added to the pan. Use your own judgment here. You don't want soup, but you're trying to avoid burning the herbs. But it will start boiling the herbs a little, which is a good thing. It's actually a process called decoction, which helps to extract the active substances or the essence from the plant material. This actually is a process used in most herbal medicines, actually. After the herbs have broken down a bit and you could really smell the aromas, pour all of this generously over the chicken and have at it. Chicken persillade, one of the quickest and easiest weeknight meals. With a few minutes of extra work, it really elevates a store-bought rotisserie chicken to a whole new level. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a lovely day. If you all liked this video, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, subscribe, check out the website. Ultimately, let's eat!